There you go. Good morning. Good Friday morning, one and all. It's Moose and Keith with you right here on the Better Sports Network. Check out our YouTube channel as well, Fantasy Alarm. We've got a lot to get into. Dave Sharapan is going to join us a little bit later on in the program as well. We've got a all-star parlay we're going to get to too. Good morning, Keith. How you doing, bud?
Yeah, the brainchild, Brian Burns, always keeps coming up with these new ideas, and I like it. So, yeah, we're going to do this. You and I are going to give out some of our favorite plays. We'll get some favorite plays from Dave, and then as a group, we will come up with our favorite 3 plays out of all of them.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, my guess is we should just take all of Dave's, make that the all-star parlay, and
Sure.
rock
Why
there.
not? Why not?
Mr. Consigliere.
I like that. And we'll Sharapan will join us a little bit later on. Let's react to the Thursday night game last night that went the Lions' way, and I love Detroit going into the game. Number one, I thought they had played better teams. Number one, I think they're just a better overall team as compared to the Green Bay Packers. And I know Jordan Love's going to get a lot of heat for the game that he had last night. I would look at the game plan that was put together by Matt LaFleur as well, especially with a healthy Aaron Jones and a healthy Christian Watson, both on the field for the first time this year together in a Week 4 Thursday night matchup against the Lions. But I mean, that was big ball football by the Lions, big boy football, I should say, by the Detroit Lions, where they just lined up. David Montgomery, was the hammer. The offensive line is great. They're better along the offensive and defensive line. And, they won that game really. I mean, that game, even though, it became a 2-possession game at one point in the second half, after that pick thrown by Jordan Love, down 17-3, punched in for the touchdown 24-3. Good night, the lights. That one was over. Detroit was never losing that football game.
Well, I'll tell you this, and I think that it was really cool to watch Detroit almost kind of mature in front of our eyes, because last week the Packers, right, they were down by 17 points in the fourth quarter, in the second half, come back and win that game. Yesterday, third quarter, Packers score in their first 2 drives. Suddenly it's a 10-point game. And inevitably, butt cheeks clench, right? That's what happens. You start tightening up, but Detroit did not relent. Now they got a nice little play because Quay Walker jumped over the line, landed on someone. So you end up, instead of the field goal, they ended up getting the touchdown there. But I really love what Campbell and the rest of that coaching staff has done. They've instilled into this team where, guys, I don't care who we're playing. I don't care what the score is. We just go out there and smash the competition and take care of what we can do. They've managed to be a team, and I don't know if, what, Moose, you'll tell me if this is a slight or not. Jared Goff is an average quarterback in the NFL. That's the way I would view him. And they've built a team where it makes him look like he's above average and also makes it look like they can win with him.
Yeah, I give him a little bit more credit than that. I would, and I know we kind of disagree on some quarterbacks in the NFL, and that's fine. And you could look at him. I give Goff a lot of credit. I do, and I think the Lions, after that Stafford trade, I think everyone looked at it and said, well, Jared Goff just stinks, and that's not the case. And you could win football games with Jared Goff. And he's going to make there are limitations to what he is as a quarterback, and clearly the Rams, the honeymoon was over after his performance in the Super Bowl, where he was completely confused by what the Patriots were doing defensively, and they couldn't.
By the way, a lot of quarterbacks
do, and give Goff credit. The combination with the OC and the quarterback coach in Detroit, they figured things out, and they play to his strengths as a quarterback. So clearly, you can win with them because the Lions are real. They just are. When you look at it, and we'll hear from Goff here momentarily. We'll play a cut from Matt LaFleur as he got a little testy with some of the media out in Green Bay last night after that game went final, and the Lions win it 34-20. But the Lions are a real football team. I wouldn't put them on the level. I don't think Philadelphia's played particularly well through the first 3 weeks, but they're 3-0, so who the hell cares? The San Francisco 49ers are clearly one of the ones, and you look at it, everyone's trying to punch holes in Brock Purdy about what he is as a quarterback. All he does is win football games, and that's an unbelievably talented team. We've already seen the Dallas Cowboys, after taking care of business against the Giants and the Jets, they can't really handle success all that well, because you can't tell me you lose one corner to a torn ACL and then as a double-digit 12.5, 13-point favorite go into Arizona and lose to Josh Dobbs the way that they did, where they got beaten up, and now they take on the New England Patriots on Sunday. So the Cowboys have taken a little bit of a hit early on. Lions are a real football team. They just are. To go into I know they didn't have Kelsey and they didn't have Chris Jones, but to go into Kansas City opening night, win that football game, give them credit. They had lost a game to Seattle that they should never have lost at home. They took care of business against the Atlanta Falcons, and they come back and win in Lambeau as a road favorite last night. And don't just win by a touchdown, win decisively and win by double digits. So the Lions are one of those teams where if you're a Detroit fan and you look at them and say, they have no – right now, Keith, unless they have a myriad of injuries, there's no reason why they don't win the North. And they're one of the teams, and they're one of the teams that I think can get to an NFC Championship game if things break their way. They can get themselves to a Super Bowl, because let's also not forget that offense is going to get better. Why is that offense is going to get better? Because after a 6-game suspension, they're going to get one of the faster wideouts and a game breaker, as we saw at Alabama, and Jamison Williams back into that offense. So you look at their offense now and you say, well, Amon-Ra St. Brown's tremendous. David Montgomery's great. Jahmyr Gibbs, the way that they use them. Maybe you're a little frustrated if you're a fantasy player. They're only going to get better with Jamison Williams when he returns to that team coming off that suspension.
I look at this NFC and what you're saying about the Detroit Lions. And, oh, by the way, they may have the best offensive line in football, too.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Kind of a boring way to build a team, from the outside. But on the inside, it's a reason why you can give David Montgomery 30-plus carries in a night. And you can do that and be very successful. If you look at the NFC right now, the Niners and the Eagles – I'm going to say the word clearly, and maybe people will say I'm wrong, but I think they're clearly the best 2 football teams in the NFC. Who's the third? That's the big question, right? Because the Cowboys, after 2 weeks of beating up on the dregs of New York, look like they were. They might not be. The Lions might be that third best team. And to your point, if you're the third best team in your conference, there is a real bona fide chance that you could make it to your conference championship game, and anything can happen after that.
Well, that's it. And think about this. You mentioned the offensive line. Like, we focus in on teams that want to run the football. And we'll get into, the Jets and Chiefs, and Taylor Swift's going to be there on Sunday night. Well, if you have a great offensive line and you go into a game and they know that you want to run the football, you can still run the football.
Yeah.
I mean, because Detroit last night went into Green Bay. They had 25 first downs. They threw the ball 28 times. They ran the ball 43 times. They wanted to run it. Green Bay knew they wanted to run it, and they still ran it and ran for over 200 yards as a team. So, I mean, like, you look at it, it does, but it all starts with the guys up front. We were mentioning Goff, and give him credit. He's a guy that, in Detroit, you never thought that you'd be feeling the way that you do about Jared Goff right now, that he is exactly a winning quarterback. Here he is after the game on Prime. Giving Fitzmagic a little bit of grief.
Better throughout the rest of the game. Hope it's up to your standards.
You played a lot. Okay. You played very well, dog.
Okay.
We're very happy.
I didn't know it was a poor man's anything, but
he heard that. He's listening.
I heard about it. That's all.
Spicy.
Call him out there, Dick.
Andrew. I didn't do it. Matt Ryan's a pretty good player, too.
Matt Ryan's a hell of a player.
I told him.
I'm giving you a hard time. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. A poor man's Matt Ryan. He's giving Fitzpatrick a little bit of grief after the game, and to the victor go the spoils. So, and honestly, like, guys do that. You saw that cut from Tom Brady last week, Keith. Guys, professional athletes use anything they can to try and get an edge. You disrespect me, as Brady said last week. Anger for him. Anger was a tremendous motivator. Like, he wanted to be angry. He wanted the opponent to say something. He wanted, an opposing, writer to say something and whatever, and would use that as tremendous motivation. I'm sure Jared Goff read the headlines after that Stafford trade, and where everyone thought he was a bum and he was a stiff and he was overpaid and all the things that everyone out there throws at Goff and Daniel Jones and others and around the national. Guys use that as motivation. And Goff last night, whatever you want to say. You want to say, well, you know what? They orchestrate an offense around him, or, he's just he's a winning quarterback. And we just talked about the fact right now, Detroit's a better team. Like, I trust the Lions more than I trust the Dallas Cowboys.
Which is crazy to think, right?
I'm not telling you the Cowboys are not more talented, but the Cowboys, as we just saw against Arizona, they're a Jekyll and Hyde team. I don't know if Dak's going to take care of the football and defensive. Like, Rex Ryan said earlier this week on ESPN, he's right, dead on correct. Arizona lined up and kick the rear end of the Dallas Cowboys. That's it. So the Detroit Lions did the same exact thing last night to the Green Bay Packers, and I trust what I'm going to get from Detroit, and then I do more a little of the Jekyll and Hyde nature of Dallas. Not saying that Dallas is not more talented. They are. I just don't trust them consistently with that performance.
From a betting standpoint, by the way, I'll just go to FanDuel. It's the first one that I found here. You can shop the books, but to win the Super Bowl, the Niners are 6-1. The Eagles would be 7-1. Only giving you NFC teams right now. Dallas is plus 950. You can still get in on the Lions at 21-1 odds, plus 2,100 if you believe in the Lions. And I'll give you the same disclaimer I gave 2 weeks ago that we did about the Dolphins. It's not going to get any better, the price.
No.
The Dolphins now to win the Super Bowl. Remember when I got in at 21-1?
What about when I told you about the Dolphins earlier on?
You did the division, I want to say a plus 550, which is amazing.
Yeah. They're now minus 160 to win the division.
Amazing.
I gave you the Dolphins to win the AFC East at plus 550.
Yeah.
They're now minus 160.
You're the Dolphin whisperer.
The Dolphins now have a 50. I think if you look at implied probability, I think their percentage is 58% right now.
Yeah, if they beat the Bills this weekend, I think they're winning that division.
Yeah. I agree with you. I agree. Yeah. But yeah, if you like the Lions, get in on them.
Because that would be the time.
Then that would be the time to get in on them. Let's hear from LaFleur, the Packers head coach, after his team got handed it last night at home.
What happens when you have to cause a first half like that, where you got nothing?
I mean, you saw it, Pete. I mean, we got our ass kicked. If I knew, it wouldn't have happened.
Matt, they didn't blitz until...
That's a BS question, man.
They didn't blitz until the last play of the first half. They sent 4 or less most of the time. Why couldn't you guys protect, do you think?
It wasn't good enough. They whipped us. They manhandled us. Again, if I knew the answer to that, it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a BS question.
It wasn't a BS question.
It's a legitimate question.
Yes.
He's just angry because on the standalone game, his team got beat up, and the Lions were by far the better team along the offensive and defensive lines. So hopefully he had the Lions last night. And I know a lot of people are going to talk about Jordan Love now and the way
I'm
that
not ready to rip him.
No, I mean, can we give him a little bit of time? And let's be honest. I mean, it cut both ways. Like this whole idea about Rodgers and the way that it ended in Green Bay, Keith, they were both at fault. Like Rodgers was making it hard on Green Bay, and they were tired of the drama and the nonsense of the BS that came along with it. And the Packers were not necessarily going out and giving Rodgers everything he needed in order to be successful. So it cut both ways. Like it really did. So, I mean, you're going to look at and say, well, how dare the Packers draft a quarterback? Well, I mean, they did the same thing to Brett Favre toward the tail end of his career, right? I mean, they drafted Aaron Rodgers because they had him as the second-rated player in the draft, and they drafted him coming out of Cal, even though they had a mortal Hall of Fame Packer legend at quarterback who was still going to be their starter. So those things do happen in the National Football League, and competition's never a bad thing. But Jordan Love's, yes, the completion percentage is not great. Yes, some of the decisions he makes, yes, he needs to be a little bit more accurate. Let's see exactly. Let's give Jordan Love a little bit of time before we throw the dirt and the shovels of dirt on his grave.
Yeah, I'm not ready to do that. All right, we got about 90 seconds till we take our first break. So let's start this all-star parlay options, okay? I'll go first. I like the Broncos and Bears over 46. What I'm going to do here is take 2 bad defenses and assume that these defenses will give up points. I think Justin Fields could maybe get it going a little bit. I think this could be a Javonte Williams day for the Denver Broncos. So that'll be my total. What's your total?
My total, I'm going to go Dolphins, Bills over 53.5.
Like I thought that could have been higher. Good call.
Yeah, 53.5, Dolphins, Bills, obviously for every obvious reason to begin with. Allen, Tua, Waddle back for Miami. They're going to score on the Bills defense. I think the Bills, as we've seen when they went up, when the Dolphins went up against the Chargers, I think the Bills are going to score on that Dolphins defense, even with Fangio down there in Miami. But unless weather and wind become a huge factor, which I don't think it will, but 53.5, I'll go the over.
All right, let's do a side. I'm going to take the Chargers to win and to cover the 5 points against the Raiders. We don't even know if Jimmy Garoppolo is going to play. Devontae Adams is complaining and doesn't know if he wants to be in Vegas anymore. Josh Jacobs is looking very pedestrian as a running back this year. And the Chargers are loaded offensively. I know it'll be a tough blow not having Mike Williams, but I think, Joshua Palmer actually led them in receiving yards last year. He'll be fine. Keenan Allen is healthy right now. Eckler is starting to get healthy. I'll take the Chargers.
I'm going to take a bounce back. I'm going to go with the Jaguars. -3 across the pond, over in Europe. Early game. It's going to be the Toy Story game Sunday morning, where they're trying to cultivate the young fan base to watch NFL games on a Sunday morning, and they're giving you Jags and Falcons. Atlanta's not particularly good. Ritter is not a good quarterback, a starting quarterback in the NFL. They have trouble throwing the football. We know they can run it. Bijan Robinson's a stud. Tyler Algiers, a second running back's great. I think Jacksonville, after losing at home as a decided favorite against Houston, I think they bounce back. I'll lay the 3 with the Jags.
I like that. And now for a player prop, I'm going to go to Jamar Chase. We go over 82.5 receiving yards. Depending on what site you're on, it's somewhere between -114 and -115, maybe even to -120. I think the price is good. The Tennessee Titans have had struggles mightily against wide receivers. I know there's still the question marks about Joe Burrow being able to get the ball down the field. Well, Jamar Chase is also one of those guys that you can get the ball into his hands quickly and let him do the rest. He might get the 82.5 on 4 catches. Give me the over.
All right, you like Chase over.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a number on Anthony Richardson. I'm having a difficult time.
I could go on my BetStamp app for you if you want.
Yeah,
really
could
quick.
you?
All right, so we want Anthony Richardson. I'll get it for you. Sing a song while I'm doing this. Come on.
I can't sing.
Sing us a song. You're the piano man. Why can't I?
Sing us a song tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
We're all in the mood for a melody.
I got it. What do you want for Anthony Richardson?
Got us feeling all right. What's his rushing yard total?
Not on the board. Passing yards, passing touchdowns, and touchdowns in general.
All right. What's his passing yards?
Passing yards set at 194.5 on.
I'll over 194.5 passing yards for Anthony Richardson.
All right. So Burnsy, mark those down, and let's put that on the dock. And when we get Sharapan on, we'll go over those.
That's it. There you have it. He's Keith Arizari. I'm Mark Malusis. It's Moose and Keith. A lot to get into. Yes, we'll get into. Yes, thanks, sports nut Nick. We'll get into Taylor Swift being at the game on Sunday night between the Chiefs and the Jets.
Nick.
And yeah, there you go.
Just
you
a little something.
Keith's arms.
Very
something. Nice. Beautiful. It's Moose and Keith with you on a Friday right here, Better Sports Network.
Like Devon Levi started off in the friend zone and now like he could possibly be wife material. So it is exceptionally hard to trust a rookie goalie in the NHL. The kid is what? He's 21. Like, okay. And he is going to the Buffalo Sabres. But we've all agreed that the Buffalo Sabres are at least a somewhat better hockey team on paper. Again, it's hard to trust a rookie goalie. We've seen future Hall of Fame goalies like, Fleury in his first year struggle, right? Carey Price in his first year struggle. It is tough for goalies to come in and have success. That being said, nobody outside of maybe a Buffalo sports fan can tell me who these 2 goalies on their roster are, because I didn't know until this morning, until I was reminded that it was Eric Comrie and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. And I was like, okay, well, he has the crease to himself. So all he can do is lose it. That's all he can do. Buffalo is going to be a fun team to watch, which means maybe Devon Levi ends up in what I call the Martin Jones syndrome, which is a goals against average is pretty up there. Save percentage is not very good, but he's going to finish with 35 wins because he's just going to play a lot. And it's going to be that back and forth hockey. The Atlantic Division is not very good, right? There are some teams that are going to regress. So there's opportunities here for Buffalo to do well. And I think his over-under on wins is set at 24.5. So again, there's a lot of things that I may not trust about him, but as a 13th goalie off the board, and I think that is a reach at 13. I think a lot of people have him farther back than that. So he may be 13 on NHL.com's list, but you may end up and show up in your Yahoo or your ESPN draft and they haven't ranked probably outside of the top 20. So I would have no issue as a second goalie going with Levi, because like, who's taking his spot? Nobody. And volume at one point, if you're in a league that doesn't penalize you for losses, if you're in a league that rewards saves and save bonuses like, for daily, DraftKings does, he has all that working for him. So if it doesn't work out, all right, fine. Then you can go and pick up whoever is there. But it is his net to lose. I understand the risk. I will definitely take, because that's how you win championships, right? You got to take risks to win them. If you're safe, you're going to finish, eliminated in the first round and you had a good time. Or you can try to win the championship on draft day.
It's Moose and Keith with Mark Malusis and Keith Irizarry.
It is. Big trade a couple days ago in the association as Damian Lillard was moved from the Portland Trailblazers. No, not down to South Beach, not to the spot he wanted to go, not to the spot that Pat Riley wanted him to go. No, Damian Lillard's now going to be in Milwaukee with Giannis and Chris Middleton. Is now the new big three for the Milwaukee Bucks, is in a 3-team deal. He ends up in Milwaukee. Drew Holiday ends up back in Portland. He's going to get moved by the Blazers at some point in time here. The Knicks are one of the teams interested, amongst others that are interested in Dame Lillard. So, you saw the Toronto Raptors were in. Portland called Brooklyn. I guess Dame Lillard was interested in going to Brooklyn. I don't know why, but I mean, he was willing to he was interested in going to Brooklyn. Brooklyn said, no, thanks, but no thanks. We'll pass. Not knocking Dame Lillard as a player, but now creates the dynamic duo. And it's amazing what the impact of Giannis. I thought about this for a second, Keith, where, when that deal goes down, not only the fact that, he doesn't go to Miami, but also, Giannis mentioned a couple of weeks ago or about a month and a half ago saying that, he wants to be in Milwaukee, but he wants to see the commitment from the organization to win championships. Well, checkmate. I mean, you just saw the Milwaukee Bucks go out there and get a guy that's been an unbelievable player for the Portland Trailblazers. Now, doesn't make Milwaukee better defensively, but it does make them significantly better offensively.
Well, you got a closer now. And as great as Giannis has been his entire career, he's not necessarily going to be the guy you give the ball to with 12 seconds left, let him dribble around a little bit, and then jack up a shot or get to the basket and hit some free throws, right? Now you have a closer. You're a bona fide future Hall of Famer, scorer, one of the best scorers this game has seen in Damian Lillard. And I think the breadcrumbs are interesting because you follow all the breadcrumbs around this path to try to figure out what actually happened. The rumors that, the Miami Heat never picked up the call again from the Trailblazers after the Trailblazers maybe offered something that was really terrible or asked for something that was just exorbitant, right? The rumors that Damian Lillard maybe a couple of days ago had gone back to Cronin and said, you know what, let's rescind it, I'll stay. And basically Cronin was like, nah, I'm good, get out of here, hit the bricks. And then the other rumors about Brooklyn maybe being a thing, could the Celtics have hopped in? All is said and done, the Milwaukee Bucks now have the shortest odds to win the NBA championship. They have two of the best offensive-minded players in the game. And you're right, they're weaker defensively, except for the fact that the other star, Giannis, is a great defensive player. And Brook Lopez is an excellent defensive player. And Beasley is a good defensive player. Now, they lose depth. Yes, they do. The Drew Holiday leg of this is important. But I think it's a deal you had to make. And Damian Lillard is signed for 4 more years. You basically told Giannis, re-sign with us. You'll get to spend 4 years with Dame. Let's go.
You mentioned it. The Bucks right now plus 360 to win the NBA title. The second favorite is the Celtics at 5-1 to win the NBA championship. So the two betting favorites right now as we speak to win the NBA title reside in the Eastern Conference. If you like the Bucks to win the Eastern Conference and just get to the NBA Finals, well, that's plus 150. The Celtics are plus 240. The next team is the Cavs at 7-1. Then you have the Sixers at 10-1, tied with the Miami Heat. And then you have the Knicks at 16-1 when you look at it. So It's a move. It's a significant one. There's no doubt about it. Now they've got their dynamic duo. The Celtics, they've got their dynamic duo in Brown and Tatum. They had a Porzingis during the course of the offseason as well, and he was back on the practice floor the other day for the Boston Celtics. So we'll see exactly what it looks like for Boston, but they wanted to get a little bit better offensively and a little less stagnant. So we'll see exactly what they look like, but still questions when you look at their head coach, Joe Mazzulla. Now the big thing is, okay, well, what's the trickle-down effect? So love the move by Milwaukee. How could you not? I mean, Lillard and Giannis are going to be great. Their win total in the regular season is sitting right now at 54.5, and I'd probably take the over if everyone stays relatively healthy for Milwaukee. Now the trickle-down effect is, where does Jrue Holiday end up? Because Portland is not going to be keeping him. They're going to move him. So where does he end up? Does he end up in Miami? The Knicks have some interest to pair him up in a backcourt with Jalen Brunson. Would love to see that as a Knicks fan. They've got 8 tradable first-round draft choices, an asset in Evan Fournier that's due to make $19 million this year, expiring contract. He's dying to get out of New York. They also have some young players that might pique the interest of the Portland Trailblazers, but Holiday is a winning player, has played in the league for a long time, 14 years. He's 33 years old, no signs of slowing down, and he'd be an interesting asset for a contending team. I wonder where he ends up.
So I think there are a handful of teams that'll be in there. I do think the Knicks are going to kick the tires on it. Ultimately, I don't think they're going to get him. I'm also not so sure that Brunson and Holiday work that well together. I'm not sure. It's too small-ish guards, but anyway.
He can actually make shots on the outside, which I'll take as a Knicks fan. He could actually shoot the ball a little bit.
That would be nice. That would be nice. All right.
I agree with you. They'd be a smallish backcourt, but I think him as a Knicks fan.
I think they're going to fall a little bit short. I think the teams that are going to do, like the realistic teams, the Sixers are going to do everything they can to try to figure that out. But I'm not giving up Tyrese Maxey to get Holiday, so I don't think it happens, right? The weird one is this. It doesn't make any sense at all. But I think it was Chris Haynes that put it out there, and he's as plugged in as anybody. See the Warriors offer?
No.
What they could do?
No, what could they do? I didn't see this.
Kuminga, Moody, and like a first. That's a pretty good starting point to get Jrue Holiday.
That is.
Right? Yeah. Now, I don't know how Holiday fits in that.
How does Holiday fit though with
I have no idea how he fits.
Klay Thompson?
Now, the other thing I read was Chris Paul could end up being a part of that deal to the Blazers. It would be like Kuminga, Moody, Chris Paul, first round, go to the Blazers. Holiday goes to the Warriors. Now he's probably starting in the backcourt with Steph Curry, and they'll figure out maybe Klay comes off the bench. And then what would happen is Chris Paul would either get bought out in Portland or he would get shipped again somewhere else. LA Lakers. So like, I think there could be a lot of crazy movement there if the Warriors hopped in.
That's interesting.
Imagine also, the Lakers are rumored to be very.
Where do you think Holiday ends up? If I had to tell you, where do you think Holiday ends up? Where do you think he ends up?
I feel like Philly's going to find a way to get him, even though I don't know how, but I feel like Philly's going to find a way to get him. He got drafted by Philly too. It'd be a full circle moment there. But this Warriors thing intrigues me.
Yeah, it does. I don't know, for some reason, I think he ends up in Miami.
So haven't you ever wanted to date somebody and they led you on? Like,
yes.
Right? Like you thought, this is going to be perfect. She likes me. We're talking on the phone.
For sure, yeah. And then all of a sudden it's like,
she's
then you get ghosted.
Really nice things about me. I'll be Moose. She told me how nice my hair was.
Yeah.
Trust all
me.
this kind of, I
didn't have a ton of game. Trust me.
And then you call her one day.
I feel like I'm on the therapist couch right now.
Right? You call her and you're like, hey, what's going on? So do you want to let's take this a little further. Let's go out for dinner tonight. Let's do it. And she says, no, I'm going out with Bobby tonight. Wait, what? Yeah. Bobby, actually, he's got better hair than you. And I kind of like his arms a little better than yours. And he told me he's going to take me to Nobu. And you can't take me to Nobu. So I'm real sorry, but nice to know you. And then how are you ever going back to that girl? You're not. So I think it's going to be difficult for Portland and Miami to make a deal.
You might be right. You might be right after all that. I mean, it's Maybe, I mean, it would be
'Cause
fascinating.
they flirted for months.
They did. You're right. You're right. And Miami thought, and ultimately Miami thought that, and as we've seen in the NBA, player empowerment, usually the guy, when he says he wants to go to a team, ultimately he ends up with that team. It's the rare instances that they don't. This is one of those rare instances, because when that deal came down, I was stunned he was a Milwaukee Buck, because I thought Dame Lillard was going to hold to the feet to the fire and say, no, the only team I want to go to is Miami. But the Bucks went out there and they satisfied and appeased Giannis. They want him there long term. That probably takes him out of the marketplace for other teams down the line. And now they've gotten themselves decidedly better. Now adding a guy like Dame Lillard, who obviously has never won anything, even though he's been an unbelievable player, has never won anything in the NBA. We'll come back. He's Keith Arizari. I'm Mark Malusis. Did I miss anything?
No, I was gonna do a promo read for you.
Oh, sure.
I was going to hop in really fast. Hey, just
Yeah.
a reminder, start a 7-day trial. It's free. Fantasy Alarms, all pro subscription. Get DFS content, NFL picks for weeks 4 and for 5, all for free. Free 99. Go to fantasyalarm.com/win. Just wanted to sneak that in before we got Diamond Dave in there.
Beautiful. I thought I misspoke because you raised your eyebrow. And usually when you do that, I've worked with you long enough, over a year now. Usually when you do that, I've misspoken or I've gotten something factually incorrect. So I was like, wait, did I say something?
No, your
wrong
money.
There we go. Sharapan will join us next. It's Moose and Keith with you on a Friday. We're like a married couple on a Friday right here on Better Sports Network.
What can we expect for you out there on the track tonight?
Listen, I have a wife, 2 kids. I have, full-time jobs. I'm never nervous. I don't even know what that word means. Can you explain what nervous means? No. I'm ready to have fun. I've never done anything like this before. I got asked to be a part of this. This is fascinating. Like, it's so cool to just look around and see what goes on here. So I'm just excited to get out on the horse. And you want trash talk? Is that what you're asking me for? No trash talk. I hope everyone does well.
All right. Everyone's going to do well, but it has to be a winner. So give me your trifecta. Who's going to come in first, second, and third? Your heat.
I will go Maria 1, me 2, Willie 3, Moose goes 4th.
Well, it's very simple. I won this event last year. I won my heat, and so the defending champ has to be the favorite. Now, that makes me a little nervous just because I feel like it's hard to repeat. There's a little pressure when you're the favorite, but that being said, I'm still optimistic.
So your heat, it's you,
yes.
Moose and Keith from Better Sports Network, and Willie Colon.
I think Keith might be my stiffest competition, and I asked for this because I actually recruited Keith, if you didn't know. So Keith, if you win, you're welcome.
Malusis is very good. I mean, he knows what he's doing, but I'm going to go with Maria.
Keith is waving to the crowd. He must pay attention because they're off. It's Mark Malusis going for the lead. Maria Marino on the outside, and now Keith Arizari on the outside with speed, and they're 3 wide into the first turn. Woo! Mark Malusis is locked in for his life. 138-2. They're into the stretch. Sportscasters Derby 2. And still in front, Keith Arizari. And now Mark Malusis is trying to squeeze on through.
Come on! Hey! Come on! Let's go! Come on, dig it! Yeah!
Keith Arizari. Keith, you did it all the way, wire to wire. Over Mark Malusis.
Awesome! That was so cool!
The champ is here! Keith, what was it like being out there? Adrenaline rush, you were doing the Instagram Live, so there was no panic. You looked cool, calm, collected the whole time, and you won it.
I felt really comfortable. I did. Like, I know you were joking with me before. Are you nervous? Are you whatever? What are you? David, the driver, was awesome. He's like, we're going to win this. I said, all right, let's win this. And he said, let's go. Yeah, I just felt really comfortable. I did. It was fun. We're in the lead. I got Maria Marino on the right side of me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's going to beat us, right? And then out of nowhere, you see Moose coming up this way, and we feel him breathing down our neck. And I'm like,
Moose on the loose. Watch out.
Moose was definitely on the loose, and we just got Moose by a neck, a nose, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, but again, all of this for a great cause, and it was absolutely awesome to do this. It was cool.
All right, Keith, congratulations, and no matter what, you could always hold this over Moose's head.
Yeah!
It's Moose and Keith with Mark Malusis and Keith Irizarry.
Love reliving that moment. Congratulations to the victor. Go to the spoils. Keith Irizarry winning. I was over at FanDuel. I'm there each and every week, and they're going to do it again this year. So this upcoming next year, I should say.
The next May or whatever.
Well, yeah, you got to be a part of it. Yeah, you're the defending champ.
I'm in it. I'm in it.
Sarapan wants to fly in.
I am coming.
Yeah, I gotta let
them. Doing it. First of all, great to see both of you.
Hi, Dave.
Lou, Linda, if you're watching.
Dave, I miss you.
Hello. I miss you guys so much. You have no idea. I hope Donna's watching the show as well. Lou,
She's
Linda,
not.
all of you, please.
They might be.
All of them. They might.
Lou and Linda are my dad's watching. Donna's.
Yeah. Hey, Papa Moose.
Oh.
Paulie.
Oh, by the way, Dave, Papa
he
Moose
coming?
is going to be about, the Mahjong tournament
The
is
Mahjong
in
tournament's
October.
coming.
Yes, he's going to be
Paulie,
out there.
we're getting together. I promise you. I promise you we're getting together this time.
I know.
I gotta get the dirt on Moose. If you guys do that horse thing again,
yeah,
I'm doing it. I'll
All
fly in. Get me in. I'll be the long shot. I'll just be listen. That looked great. You guys both looked
so
like
much
you
fun.
really knew what you were doing. Is it scary at all?
No, it's
Nah,
great.
not.
It's so much fun. You're going like 25 miles. It's great. It's so much fun.
All right.
It's unbelievable.
I was
handling
going
it.
about 110 miles an hour
Yeah.
just because, I mean.
I really thought Moose was coming down the stretch on the
I thought
inside
so
on the
too.
rail. I thought you had it, Moose.
I did too.
So did I. Dave, can I ask you, is it un-American that I bet Europe in the Ryder Cup
No.
and I'm celebrating the fact that they're blitzing the American team right now?
Not at all. No.
Is it un-American? Do you like money?
Happens all the time. It
Yeah,
doesn't,
do you
it's
like money?
just another event. Like
They were plus money last week. They were plus money if you looked at the two teams.
line was wrong. The line was clearly wrong. Seriously, they're so much better at the team events that they get this lead now. It looks like it's going to be insurmountable. But the Americans, what they do as the individuals, there's so much betting on it now as far as the different options and props and all that other stuff. But a couple golf guys that I talked to this week, said they should have been minus 190. Would it open the other way?
Yeah.
Europeans could have been minus 190. So any pluses was good. So did you get up and watch it? Were you up like on the
I was not
treadmill
up at 1
watching the
o'clock.
golf?
No,
or what?
no, I was not up, but we were up. I was up this morning at 6:45. Kids had picture day, so they had put on the shirt and tie and the blazer. So I'd help Donna get ready, get the boys ready for school. But I flipped it on, and I saw the Euros had won all 4 matches this morning. That got going like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning on East Coast time.
A photo shoot with the little Moose boys.
It's a lot of hair to.
Are you kidding me? That's like that's how much preparation goes into that? Those boys are all 3 little studs anyway. The hair,
it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. Begging with them to brush their teeth, trying to brush their hair. One's asking for product in his hair. It's a lot. It's a lot. Dave, how have you been?
I've been good, boys. It's crazy here in Vegas. It's just everything's getting ready for this F1 race that's coming. The city's a total wreck as far as traffic, construction. They took down the trees in front of the Bellagio and they're putting up these big grandstands. You can't even see the fountains from the street anymore. Can't walk on the street, but everything else is good.
Those grandstands won't stay there forever, though, right?
I don't know, Kay. I am not sure. I don't think so, but it takes a month to put them up, and it's going to take a month to take them down. So they're going to be up for at least 3 months.
Yeah.
And is this Formula One race going to be a yearly thing?
It's a 10-year contract. This is year number 1.
So every year you're going to have to go through this in Vegas.
Every year. And until they rip up the contract. Like you guys know in this business, you have a contract until you don't.
What? So, wait, you mean contracts can end out of nowhere?
This is what I've never really knew that in
never
the
heard
book,
that.
But I'm learning a lot about this space too, because it's just contracts just end. So
yeah,
I think it's going to go at least another year, Moose. But like the vacancies and open availability of rooms was not anticipated. So Vegas doesn't usually do that, right? When you have a price, it's up, you sell it at that price. The discount comes once. When it comes again, they just go, you know what? We'll just get a different show. So this might be a 1 or 2 and done.
Gotcha.
All right, let's get into some stuff here. So this is always a great time to check in with you on one certain thing. Portfolios. All right. We are 3 days away from the baseball season being over.
Glorious baseball weekend.
Potentially it could go to Monday. Who knows? With that being said, do you have your baseball World Series portfolio?
That's what I'm doing today and tomorrow.
Okay.
I got a couple already. Did the Mets and Marlins
already
finish last night?
No, they did not, and they're postponed today. Doubleheader tomorrow.
Yeah.
Wait a second. The Marlins are going to Pittsburgh.
Right. So if the Marlins Mets, if that game ends up mattering, if it has to be finished,
right?
Moose, you tell me if I'm correct on this one. I think I am. They would have to finish that on Monday.
Correct.
Oh, that's going to change everything. I thought I stayed up as long as I could last night and took a nap and got up and watched some golf, and I didn't even go back and check. I knew I was just going to see you guys. So ironically, in the book, you better check the house rules if you had that game bet, because it ended with the Marlins winning but scoring the runs in the 8th. Betting rules revert back to the last completed inning. So if you have a Mets ticket or a Marlins ticket and you go in today to cash the Marlins, you don't cash. It's a 7-inning game, and the Mets pays. So,
it's set to resume 1:10 on Monday.
If it matters.
If it matters, right.
And that will affect, I don't think it'll affect the Marlins season win totals over, and the Mets is way under. So you don't have to worry about that. So to answer your question, KI, it is so open, I think, in the American League. Very impressed with Baltimore. Got a couple options there. Them Dodgers, them Braves, them Phillies. Trying to figure out who the other team's going to be to get a couple other options. The American League West, they could all make it. Seattle could be out. Texas could be out. Houston could be out.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to see. I'm trying to I don't really have to bribe the kids anymore, but I think I might go down to Arizona to watch Houston and Arizona play.
Nice.
And, see grandma and all that other stuff. Use that as an excuse to go down. So I don't know in the National League. Who's going to beat the Braves?
I don't see how someone beats the Braves unless, injuries would have to happen, right?
Yeah.
They get them in a 5-game and a 7-game. Unless somebody pitches completely lights out and beats them in low-scoring games 3 times out of the 5 or 4 times out of the 7, the only team I think that can do it is the Phillies. That's the only team with the pitching, right?
And you could still get the Phillies. I think it was, as of yesterday, I want to say 14-1 to win the World Series. And I want to say they were like 6-1 to win the NL.
Yeah. I'm looking at World Series just trying to get that matchup again like last year. I had all those tickets on the Phillies last year. I think I'm going to buy in again on their scenarios over Baltimore, Philly over Baltimore, Philly over Tampa, because they're going to end up playing each other. And only one of them is going to go the way this is set up. So you get one of those in the ALCS. And I think the other team sneaky in the American League is not the Twins. It's the team that doesn't have to play on that side until the end.
Right.
So either Houston or Texas.
And in the NL, do you kind of see it just as those 3 teams? Because yesterday, Stryker and I did that on Better's Eye. And I said I just wanted to be really super chalky here. And I was Braves at plus 275 and Dodgers were plus 425, I think. I went super chalky. He went a little bit out of the way. He went Phillies and Brewers, I think he had. Brewers at like 20-something to 1.
The Brewers, I fall for the NL Central team every year, and I'm trying not to do it with the Brewers because it doesn't last. You were talking about relationships. It's the quick date or 2, and then you're done. You're like, I did this again. I mean, you see everything, and you go, and you're like, this conversation's not good. We don't have anything in common, and then you're left wondering, what did I do? So I'm just got to set up the pitching matchups, right? The Brewers can win the first series. Brewers are going to play who? Marlins or Cubs, most likely. They can win that. I just don't know. They could beat the Dodgers. The 2-3 will play. I don't think they can beat the Braves.
Yeah. I'm with you.
We did okay, so Dave, we did an all-star parlay earlier on.
All-star.
So and what I did, and we made Keith and I each made 3 picks. Pick against the spread, a prop pick, and a total pick for week 4.
Oh my goodness.
And we wanted to get the Dave Sharapan selections as well, and then we could tweet it out.
Oh boy.
If you need us, do you want to hear ours first while you're thinking a little bit?
Yeah, I'm looking at this scroll on the bottom of the screen, a new addition here to the
it's nice, isn't it?
It's nice. I like it. So one of your sides is the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I took the Jags minus the 3 against Atlanta.
Okay. And KI, what's your side?
I got the Chargers minus 5 against the Raiders.
All right. I like both of those.
Okay.
What's the totals?
I have Bills, Dolphins over 53.5. And that news just came out of Buffalo. Jared Poyer, their safety, is out Sunday for the Buffalo Bills. So that should help the Dolphins offense. Not that like they need any help, but they're going to get Waddle back. Yeah. It is a high total. I agree with you.
And I got Broncos Bears over 46 just because both teams stink, and I think that the defenses will continue to stink. And
I like that one. I like that one. And then a prop bet. Oh man, you guys are the experts with the.
Yeah, I know that's not as much your thing.
I don't have to. I just don't like them. I don't know. Is anything out now to really look at for the props that you really like? What was your?
All right. What about a side and a total then? Do you love anything aside? Do you love anything when you're looking at week 4 for a side?
I really don't, boys. I'm looking at it now.
Just one of those weeks you're like, eh.
I'm so I use September so much. Like even in the book, I was the guy still watching baseball, and I was just using September to evaluate and really, like last night I liked Detroit, but everybody liked Detroit. That wasn't really a major play. I kind of like the Saints over the Bucks.
Okay.
I think that could be one. I like both of your sides.
So you like Saints over Bucks, even though it'll be Jameis?
Is it confirmed?
I mean, it's not confirmed, but it's confirmed.
Yeah, I gotta like Jameis in that spot. I'm a big backup quarterback guy. When they know, if you don't know as the public there or as the book, that's fine. But I love when they know and they don't tell anybody. He's getting all the reps, right?
Okay, so then you're against my Chargers pick then, because Hoyer, like they know if Hoyer the Destroyer.
No. That can't be. I can't understand that line. I went to the game on Sunday. Somebody got me a ticket. I went to see the Raiders play the Steelers. One of the coolest things I've done in a long time. I haven't seen an NFL game in person in a long, long time because I've been working in a book for so long.
Yeah.
So I went to the game. That offense is bad. Like, it's throw it to Devontae and nothing else. The Steelers defense made them look bad, but like they couldn't do anything. And Jimmy G made a couple really bad choices. I went and saw this line. The Chargers are going to score. You want a team total over? Chargers team total over. That's one of the, a prop you could play.
I'll get that. I'll get that for you while you talk. Let's see.
Yeah. Chargers team total over. I mean, what's the total in the game is 48.5, 49. So it's probably what, 27?
Yeah, it is 48.5. You are correct. Where's the team totals? Come on.
So I'm guessing it's right around that number. I think they score. I like that game over.
27.5 for the Chargers.
Right. It's not like I still got it. That's pretty good.
You do.
I still
so
got
do you want that could be your leg of the parlay? If you want that could be your leg.
We could do a quarterback interception prop. Let me pick a quarterback to throw an interception.
Zach Wilson.
You guys are there.
He's really bad at football.
He's really bad.
Last week the books didn't even put it up because you had to make it minus 300.
Yeah, he's terrible.
I've never seen it that high.
What do you think it is
coming out ripping them? I mean,
it's got to be minus 280.
No, you can get it on BetMGM at minus 165.
To the yes
over on an interception. Yeah, Zach Wilson. Actually, Caesars has it at minus 160.
Wow,
yeah, they're sleeping. Are they not aware that Taylor Swift is going to the game?
Yeah, I'm excited to see Taylor Swift at the game. Good for Travis Kelce. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, good old trailer.
I didn't see this coming from either one of you. You're
Trailer.
serious about this?
I'm all in. All in.
I am.
Yep.
Everyone that is hating on it is just jealous. I mean,
Exactly.
I'm not. No, it's just it's
He
a
shot
work.
his shot,
You guys
and he
know
won.
wrestling. This is all a work. This
That's
is
fine.
all
I'll buy into the work.
I like wrestling.
Put them over.
I
like
love
wrestling.
getting worked by the WCW and WWE.
Yeah. And here's the deal. So guys, I asked Jody what she thought about this, okay?
Yeah.
and I said, I was like, Jody, do you think this is all like fake? And she does not. She does not think it's fake. Now, she's not sure it's love, but I think there's like there. I think there's like there.
Love. We got to
It's not
ask
love.
Lou
There's
and Linda about love. Ask Paulie about love. That's not love. This is
I said there's like there. There's like there. They're two attractive human beings. They're two famous human beings. They have gotten together through being famous, and they're probably enjoying each other's company.
This is all false information.
I am all in. There will never be bad blood.
I can't believe this. Let's go on record with this. I like both of your sides. So
Okay.
I have to put in picks. I will have both of those in this contest I'm in where I have to pick every game. I will have both of your sides. Use the Saints as mine.
Okay.
So let's just do that. That's good. So Bernsey, why don't we do that? Why don't we go Chargers 5 to cover the 5, Jaguars to cover the 3, and what's the Saints line?
Saints 3.
And the Saints to cover 3. That'll be our parlay.
All right.
That's our Diamond Dave, Moose and Keith parlay of the day.
Chalky as hell, but sometimes favorites win. It's okay.
Sometimes you put all the favorites in, then you get to a little bit of plus money.
Yeah.
If you have a knockout pick this week, what would it be?
I don't. I'm out.
Have you used Kansas City yet?
No.
Yeah, do them. Yeah, that's a good call. Taylor Swift.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
Kansas City. Yeah.
I mean, unless you want to save them, I'm not a big fan of saving them.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
we ran a proxy service. A lot of people used Jacksonville last week. I feel bad because
that's
they're
me.
out.
That's me.
Man.
I'm out.
What about Smart? Can I ask you, what about, do you think the Cardinals have any chance in San Francisco?
To win the game?
Yeah.
No.
No.
To cover the spread? Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. Josh Dobbs is a rocket scientist. Were you aware of
He
this?
is.
No.
He's smarter than all of us.
Very smart.
I had no idea about this. But, you can tell that the odds makers and the books, nobody knew squadouche about any of this.
Let me
because they
interrupt for
were
a
wrong.
second. Dave, we actually have to take a break. Do you want to stay for the final 3 minutes of the show? You can. Do you want to stay?
love
Do
to.
you want to
Yeah,
hang? All right. Let's take the break, and we'll let Dave be a part of our next segment, too. We got about 7 minutes to play with right now. So quick break. Moose and Keith, Diamond Dave, Swaggy Dave, Dave Sharapan, all the great names. We'll be right back.
Oh boy, we got a big one. We got a big card here. We got
baby, let's go.
We got a super rookie.
Ooh.
Do you guys want to guess who the big card super rookie is? Because
I'm going to guess
exciting.
somebody from the Dallas Cowboys, but I don't recall who were rookies in those particular years. So I'm going to guess Michael Irvin.
Adam?
Jared kind of convinced me to go Troy Aikman there.
I'm going to read the description. In this player's NFL debut, September 10th, 1989, he produced an electrifying 68-yard punt return for a touchdown.
Sanders.
He became the first athlete in the 20th century to hit a home run, September 5th, 1989, for the Yankees at Seattle, and score a touchdown in the same week.
That needs a sleeve. That one needs a sleeve.
Top
100%.
super rookie, neon, prime time, Deion Sanders.
I wasn't that far off. He played for the Cowboys.
I was going to say Deion, and then when you said the early 90s Cowboys, I'm like, oh, Aikman would be a good guess. So I go with your gut is the lesson there.
And there it is, the white and red Falcon jerseys that you said Deion came in with before they changed to black.
That was because the starting lineup for Deion his rookie year has got the red helmet with the white jersey.
Now look at that do. I mean, are you kidding me with that hair?
I mean, you got to have a headband with those curls. You got to.
That is sick.
It's Moose and Keith with Mark Malusis and Keith Irizarry.
All right, a couple minutes left to play with.
Really quick. Alex Wersoff is in our chat. Really quick before we get to it, just want to tell him, Bijan for Montgomery and James Conner. I would say do it if you need depth on your team because you're getting, 1.5 starting running backs there. But if depth is not an issue, I would hold on to Bijan. I think he's going to finish the year strong in Atlanta.
All right, here we go. Play the real-time sports pick'em contest. Set a lineup of player props, hit them and all and win. Combine multiple sports or play your favorite. Go to rtsports.com/alarm. First-time depositors get 100% instant match up to $200. Please play responsibly. For help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, Keith, you lead the way. What do you got?
Let's go to San Francisco. I'm going to rock with Mr. Brock Purdy. He's no longer Mr. Irrelevant. He is very relevant. Let's go over 1.5 passing touchdowns. He did it in the last game, and he's going up against a Cardinals defense that he should be able to attack. So Brock Purdy over 1.5 touchdowns.
I'll go Kyron Williams for the Rams over 56.5 rushing yards as they take on the Indianapolis Colts on the road.
All right, Dave Sharapan, disagree, agree on either of those?
They both sound good to me. I want to do Zach Wilson throw a pick. Yes, if that's available. I'm not buying any of that other stuff, but those are both good picks. I agree with both.
All right, Burnsy, you take a look in the Jets ledger and see if we can do that one. I will give you another play as we speak. DeAndre Swift going to top 12.7 fantasy points in the weekend. 306 rushing yards over the last 2 games, and the Eagles are going up against the Commanders. They're going to smack them.
I love the headband, Dave. Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift's in attendance. Mahomes is going to feed him the football. 73.5 receiving yards. I'll go more than 73.5 receiving yards for Travis Kelce.
Yeah. Hey, Slick Watch, you like those?
Yeah, I do. Actually, I saw the Dion card with
Deutsch in them.
Deutsch, yeah, and it reminded me I got my headband right here. I love the headband. That was my nickname in high school, Primetime. Yes.
I thought you were going to say your nickname was Headband.
No, prime time. It could be
Prime
headband, but prime time.
Last one for me is Tank Dell. I'm going to go over 45.5. And what RT Sports does here is they offer you the rush receiving yards. It's the same number as receiving. You might as well take it as a rush receiving because what if he gets a handoff for a couple of yards? The last 2 games, he has 72 yards and 145 yards. Really seems like CJ Stroud and him have a connection.
I'll go with Zay Flowers, rookie wideout, Baltimore, over 52.5 receiving yards as they take on the Browns. Lamar showed you he's struggling throwing the football, but Flowers is unbelievable in the open field. I go over 52.5 receiving yards for the former Boston College star.
Sounds like winners to me. Dave, you agree?
Yeah.
We're just slaying it, crushing it.
Yeah, the Houston one makes me nervous because a lot of people are talking about that. That one seems almost too easy. That number might be a little bit high. Yeah,
Tank Dell, that player.
Yeah,
Tank
but
Dell.
But his name is Tank.
It's great. I love.
Who doesn't want to? Did you ever know a real tank in life? Like
No.
I had one guy in college. They called him Tank.
Big guy.
Was he little? I wish he was little.
No. Tank
Wide.
was a tank. He had a big head, big shoulders, and nothing up there.
Chef Lanabi. Someone offered me Hurts, Mark Andrews, and Breece Hall for Anthony Richardson, Saquon Barkley, Darren Waller. Should I do it? No. Do not do that.
No, do not do that.
You actually write back to the person whatever you're doing in your free time. It's messing up your head.
That's not a friend at all. That's not even a colleague who sends you that trade offer. What was that?
Yeah, let me get the concussed Anthony Richardson. Let me get the bum ankle of Barkley, and let me get the Darren Waller who can't stay healthy on the field for one of the 2 or 3 best quarterbacks in the league, one of the 2 or 3 best tight ends in the league, and injured Breece Hall or a coming back from injury Breece Hall. That's horrible.
That's not a friend. That's a guy trying to give you his trash. He's trying to give you his trash.
Yeah.
Put the sunglasses on.
That's
Make
it.
sure you can't see that coming.
We
I
got
don't
10
have
seconds.
sunglasses. I didn't get the memo. Guys, we're out of time. Dave, we love you. We miss you.
I miss you guys. Love you.
See you guys next week.
Later, Dave.